friends, this is Papa Joe with Metal Shop Vlogs on the road, but we have an extreme edition today because Julie and I happen to be in Albuquerque. We're here for the Black Sabbath concert tonight, rock on, and we thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to pay our friend J.L. Uzetti at Screen Kings a visit, do a little interview with him. How you doing, Joe?
Good.
Awesome, man. We love Albuquerque.
Yeah.
I'm pretty familiar with this place, man. I've been to other concerts here. I've seen Maiden here twice.
Oh wow.
And John Mayer.
That's awesome.
The cool thing about that is I've had the chance to bring my kids. So.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome.
So, could you talk to us about the beginnings of Screen Kings? When I hear the name Screen Kings, I get the sense that I'm dealing with a top quality business. Just the name Kings alone.
I mean, essentially what Screen Kings started as was just kind of like a thing between me and my dad. We wanted to do something together, and we thought it'd be kind of cool to incorporate art into it. My dad's actually a jeweler, he owns a jewelry store, and I was always into like the art side of that, and he's into the manufacturing side of that. And so we got together, we got a game plan, we took out a loan for some equipment and got the equipment and started printing together. And eventually he wasn't able to manage his own business as well as this, and kind of just passed it off to me, and I paid off the rest of the equipment and basically started doing it full time when I started to build kind of some buzz and some clients and stuff like that.
That's cool. So did you learn the whole process on your own?
I did, yeah. I learned everything from YouTube. So
you learned things the hard way?
I messed up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I know. I have some friends back home who used to watch the screens in their tub at home and then realize that that wasn't a good idea.
It's I mean, I still have friends that to this day that do it completely DIY and that are completely successful doing it DIY, and I don't think it's impossible, but having the right equipment definitely helps a lot.
Yeah, I mean the gear has a lot to do with that.
Just so, like with music or anything else.
Right. So how did you come up with the name of Screen Kings?
Basically, we both just, we had to compromise because he didn't want anything. I wanted to go kind of metal with it and something kind of extreme, and he's a businessman and he's not metal at all. So we kind of we went back and forth, and one day he was like, well, what about something that involves screen and then being good at it? And I was like, well, maybe Screen Kings, and he was like, yeah, let's do that. And that's literally how it kind of came about.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And well, speaking of metal, JL has a big connection with the music community, both locally here in Albuquerque, and I'd say that he probably has a good number of friends in the national music scene. He has a lot of friends back home in El Paso, so that's how we know him. I mean, we've seen him at shows in El Paso when he comes into town, and that's what makes the connection between his business and our vlogs. Support music all the time.
Definitely.
So, is your company strictly screen printing?
We actually do screen printing and embroidery, as well as design work for other companies and other screen printing companies. We've helped other screen printing companies out with design and embroidery, and we outsource a lot of things that we can't do, like stickers and car wraps, whatever. We have a connection for everything, but we essentially do screen printing, design, and embroidery.
And what different methods do you use to apply graphics? Because I always get the, oh no, we don't screen it. We have this other method and it's so much better.
Right.
So sometimes I wonder, okay, which method's the best?
Right. So, well, essentially, I mean, screen printing is, in my opinion, the best method. It's something that lasts a lot longer than other ways of doing it, I guess you could say. We also do, for numbers and stuff, we'll do a vinyl heat transfer, so it essentially is an iron-on, and we do stuff like that as well. Mainly for things that are there's a one-off of something, or if you want the number 1 on your shirt and you only have one shirt, we're just going to go ahead and order that number in and keep it instead of making a screen and printing it and everything like that. But I mean, 9 times out of 10 everybody's going to be doing screen printing, so just with an actual screen.
And I think those shirts are always my favorite because they last pretty much forever.
Definitely. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, from my personal experience, I know how tough it can be when it comes to being creative, and especially in regards to graphic design. Mm-hmm. I help out kids sometimes back home with flyers and band logos and stuff like that. but like I don't do it on a daily basis like you do. So how do you go about when it comes to being creative with graphic design?
Well, we have kind of a system. So basically, everything that we do, we kind of do it every single time. So essentially, what happens is you're my customer. You're going to hit us up, and you're going to say, "Hey, like, I had this idea. We don't really have a design for it, and we don't really have like." We have an idea, we want to do this, but we don't know how to make it happen. And so what happens is I'll get like a sketch of something going, send it to you, and you're like, I like this, I hate this, this is perfect. And then what I'll do is I'll say, okay, cool. Well, let me go back, let me do this, and then I kind of just go back and fix it, and I'll add things to it, I'll change the colors, whatever they want, and we just kind of go back and forth until they're happy with it. And I would say the best part about that with me doing it is the fact that I know exactly what it takes to get it on press and to make it look like it does in the picture, whereas like some designers don't know that because they're not screen printers. They don't know what it takes to actually get it on a screen and make it look how it does on the computer, how these people are wanting it to look.
Yeah, I understand that completely. It doesn't always translate from your laptop to real life. Yeah, I've had that problem a lot where you pick similar colors for a font in a background and they just blend too much to where they don't even stand out. And I know for companies that's a big thing. You want their name to stand out. Yeah,
and well, in a lot of companies we deal with we deal with HP, and they're very particular about their colors. They have to be specific. They have to be a specific Pantone, and it has to be like everything else that they do. It's actually required.
That's like very uniform.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. It has to be exactly like that. So. With these companies that we deal with, it's very, very important that it is exactly how it's supposed to be.
So, do you do all the graphic designs?
I do. So I do a lot of our graphic designs. Not to say that a lot of graphic designers don't send us stuff for bands and stuff as well. We deal with, one artist is Koki Greenway. He's a super, super great artist. He does a lot of stuff for like Carnifex and All Shall Perish, and he's done, he's done stuff for my band. He's done stuff for my friends' bands. And we don't do everything, but we do a lot of the designs, and we at least clean up a lot of designs and get them ready for print or whatever.
Yeah, we just saw Carnifex back home, I guess about a month and a half ago.
Right, yeah.
So brutal, man. Yeah. Like we were up front.
Yeah, heavy.
Really right in your face, man, but we like it.
Yeah, definitely.
So do your customers ever give you like free reign on a design? Like do they bring you a concept and just tell you do whatever?
Sometimes they just don't even give me an idea. They just say, go crazy, or they'll give me a lyric of a song or something, and they're like, we want to see what you think about this and like what your idea of this is. And then I kind of like, before I do anything, I'll be like, well, when I read this or when I see this, I'm thinking this. And then they're like, either no, or they're like, yes, let's do that. You know what I mean? And so we kind of just go back and forth again, like I was saying with the ideas and stuff. But I do have a lot of people that kind of just give me free reign and let me do whatever I want, which is always the best.
That's kind of like a tattoo artist, where somebody just has an idea, but they don't know how to put it together, and they bring you the idea, and like you said, you sketch it. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I know how hard that can be, because like I've tried it, but it just doesn't work out for me.
It could be a little, you have customers that are a little more particular and want things a certain way, and that could be kind of hard, but it's not. If it gets to that point, then I might suggest somebody that's above my level of designing, and I'll say, hey, I'll even talk to the person first and say, hey, I have a customer that wants to do this. I'm not able to do this. Are you able to do this? How much would it be? And we kind of just go from there.
So what have been some of your favorite designs that you've personally done?
It's crazy. I've done especially in the past couple of years, I've done stuff that I still am like, man, I can't believe I did that. But I would say I've done a lot of cool stuff. I'm going to throw El Paso out there. I've done a lot of cool stuff for Barbarian, and I've done a lot of cool stuff for Triumph.
I have a bunch of those in my closet. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because this is like connecting the dots for us, because the whole reason we have the vlog project that we do is because of Triumph Over Shipwreck.
Yeah, definitely.
They came with us, they came to us with the idea, and Judy and I were both kind of nervous about it, because I'm a still photographer,
right?
And Judy does videos at shows, but we had never actually worked on a project where we would record and edit and put it together as a final product.
Yeah.
So they're the ones that pretty much gave us the little kick in the
they were
to get us started.
They were one of the first bands I ever printed for, to be honest. They kind of helped me get my start. They always believed in me, even though I kind of sucked and I didn't know exactly what I was doing. But they always like had, you know, the faith that I could do it. And JL, I mean, he's one of my best friends, and he's pushed me.
JL's family, man.
Yeah, I know he is, and he's done a lot for me and for us. And he kind of pushed me and was like, man, just do this, like. Just, I don't even care. Just do it. Just like let's try it. And I think that helped me a lot. And again with Thomas from Barbarian, he's kind of the same way. They let me kind of experiment sometimes or like try new processes out, and you know they've been super cool and supportive.
Yeah, I mean the Barbarian hoodies are awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
That's my favorite.
They always have the funniest designs. I think that every time Thomas comes to me, he's like, let's do a Backstreet Boys shirt. I'm like, let's do a Backstreet Boys.
Are you still doing shirts for them?
Yeah, I am.
Did you do that Selena one?
I did do that Selena one.
Dude.
Yeah.
That was a popular one.
Yeah, it was cool.
I consider you a well-known member of the music community, both locally and regionally and nationally. So how has that part of your life had an influence on your business life here?
I mean, that's essentially that's everything, really, because that's how we got our start. It was from bands, from touring bands, from local bands, from, you know, surrounding states, whatever it is. That's kind of been our bread and butter. That was our bread, and it still is to this day. I mean, we do a lot of band stuff, and so I guess to answer your question, how is it tied into my life? It basically is my life. That's literally everything that we have is like my reputation with these bands and my my friendships with these bands, and being able to, when we did tour and when we did do things in my band a long time ago, that essentially is why I'm here today doing what I am doing today.
So when these bands are on tour and they make a stop in Albuquerque, it's pretty much a good stop for them because they're picking up merch and reloading, restocking.
Yeah, it doesn't happen all the time. Usually we end up just shipping it, but we have had in the past a lot of bands come through and bands I've never met in my life even, and they're like, hey, so-and-so referred us, we have to re-up on merch, we're going to be in Albuquerque in 2 days, is there any way we can do that? And then we'll make it work. You know, we work with them and help them out and stuff. But even still, just like housing bands, we do that all the time. We let bands stay with us, and we get them food in the morning and do the whole thing. So
yeah, we know it's tough. I'm pretty sure it's tough being out there on the road and being with the same people every day in a cramped up little van. And I only know this because of the videos that Triumph shares.
Yeah, oh god. Yeah. Triumph, I want to say Triumph is probably the only band that I've never met in my life that is like just hardcore touring for like 11 months out of the year and just doing it. So
yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So one of these days my dream is to join them on one of those little excursions.
Oh god.
Just
It's
bring my
fun.
camera along and hang out with them, man.
They know how to do it.
Maybe I could just follow them in my car.
Yeah, no, you want to be in the van.
Yeah, get the full effect.
Yeah, definitely.
So who are some of the local bands that you've helped out in and touring bands? With merch.
I mean, most of Albuquerque, to be completely honest. So we do a lot of stuff for pretty much every local band in Albuquerque. And as far as nationally, some of the bigger bands that we've done stuff for is Black Tongue is one of the bands from the UK. We did a couple runs for them. We did one of their pre-order packages, and then Leaders. We did some stuff for Leaders before their last stint. And
they're cool, man. Leaders actually stopped by our house one time and had lunch with us there. And
they're
all
awesome.
good friends of our Laz. And
yeah, I love Laz. Yeah.
They're all good dudes. Man.
Yeah. So I mean, and then right now we got some stuff in the works for a band called Facer Maker, which is they're kind of up and coming. They're doing a lot of stuff, and then Spite is another big one. Spite.
Ooh, yeah. We just saw them back
heavy as hell.
a month ago. Man.
Yeah.
Love them, man.
Yeah. So Spite, Eighth Year, all those guys, a lot of NorCal bands, and that's due to our buddy Joel Haston. He does a lot of. He books a lot of
pinup productions.
Yep, pinup. Yeah, he does a lot of shows, a lot of big shows up there. So he's always kind of helping us out and giving us some of his bands from up north. So
that's pretty awesome. Yeah, we're good friends with dudes in Eighth Year also.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
And Garrett and Chris.
I love them.
It's crazy because I was referred to Brian Shields. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
He's a dude that used to write that heavy blog is heavy in the Bay Area by a friend of ours from back home, Fede. So he told me that he was the Papa Joe of the Bay Area because
Definitely.
he's an older dude and he always.
But he was well known.
Yeah, he's well known. And him and I, we talked a lot. We messaged each other on Facebook a lot and stuff. So that was a connection with Eighth Year because the first time they went to El Paso, I talked to Chris and I was telling him, you know what, I know about you guys because of Brian.
Yeah.
And it was cool because that right at that moment, he tells me, dude, I'm so happy that I get to play for you.
Yeah.
Because of that connection.
Mm-hmm.
So ever since then, I mean, I've always had a soft spot for the dudes in Eighth Year, man. I feel like that Brian Shields connection is still there.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Rest in peace.
Yep.
So how does it feel to go to like shows and see kids wearing merch that you had a big hand in producing?
I'm like a little girl whenever I see somebody wearing, like, I fangirl almost. I get so excited to see somebody wearing something that I made, especially a shirt that's been, it'll be 5 years down the road and they're still wearing it or they're still repping it, and the shirt's all tore up. It's been through a couple pits and you know what I mean, and it's crazy. I mean, even I'll go to the mall. I hate the mall, but I'll go to the mall sometimes and I'll see somebody wearing a shirt that I did, and I'm just like, man, like, that's crazy. Like, it's so, and it's like, I'm sure like with tattoo artists too, they see somebody that years down the road with that tattoo, and it's just like, it's crazy to see that, you know what I mean? It's like they're loving what I did, and it's a cool feeling for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man, just something special about band tees.
Yeah, definitely.
I wish so bad that I would have saved all the ones that I bought like in the 80s.
Yeah, yeah.
But, oh well.
Yeah.
I remember the first concert I went to, the t-shirts were like $7.
I know. Yeah, well,
it's crazy.
That
was in the 70s.
Yeah, well, everything's crazy expensive.
Yeah. So, what's the craziest concept you've come up with for a band?
For like a t-shirt design?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, honestly, I do almost every one of Barbarian's t-shirt designs. There's another guy that does really, really cool stuff. He had a company called Street Serpents, and he designs a lot of their stuff too as well. But I would probably say the craziest stuff is Barbarian. I mean, I've done all those wrestling shirts. I did all of the the Selena shirt, and then we did they do a lot of like just funny merch, like everything they do, and that's what I like about it too, is it's got that old school style, because a lot of bands back in the day did like funny merch, like everything was like funny and like goofy and kind of silly, and that's what I love about them, is obviously it's evolved a little bit and it's a little bit more serious. They're a heavy band, but they still keep it funny, and they still which is cool. Like, it's cool to see that it's not 100% serious. They're having fun.
Yeah,
and,
like tongue in cheek kind of.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Thomas, like, he makes posts all the time on Facebook saying like he doesn't do it because it's cool. He doesn't do it because it's this. He does it because he likes to do it, and it shows. I mean, as funny as and probably as corny as it sounds, it shows in their merch, because like they're just doing what they want to do. It's not what everybody else is doing.
Right. Yeah. Just keeping it real.
Yeah. So I think that they probably top a lot of like the craziest stuff I've ever done, for sure.
Nowadays, clothing lines are becoming really popular.
Mm-hmm.
Kids will have friends who come up with designs and they'll slap them on a shirt. And
right.
It's my clothing line. So, like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think they're awesome. I think it's a good way for an individual to make a little bit of money. I know a lot of clothing lines that have actually blown up, and people actually make their living off of them. So I think it's really cool that they're able to like put their idea on a t-shirt and like put food on their table at the same time. You know what I mean? I think it's great, and I mean, not to mention, it does help us out as well. So it's definitely cool. It goes full circle for everybody. But yeah, I mean, I think they're really cool.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's like necessary for businesses like yours.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the
more clothing lines, the better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, what's the best way to contact you? Like, I don't know is it Facebook? Do you have a website where people can see your designs?
We do. We have a website. It's not as far as like seeing designs and stuff like that. It's not updated enough to do that. But that's the best way. One of the best ways to contact us is via our website or through email. I always tell people that the reason why we do email is that way we have like kind of a paper trail of our conversation. So that way, if I'm in the middle of a job and I'm like, oh wait, did they do this? I can just pop in the email. I don't have to bug them. I don't have to like give them a call or anything. I can go on the email. Yeah, we did talk about that. Cool, let's do that. And plus my wife does all the quoting and stuff, and she's not always here in the shop, and we have two different phones, so it makes it hard to communicate sometimes when somebody hits me up for something and then I got to talk to her, and then vice versa. So I think that our email would probably be the easiest.
Yeah, and speaking of your wife, I remember there was a time when she had her own clothing line as well, right?
Yep, yeah, Coral Clothing. Her and her buddy Allie did that, and They had fun with it. It got a little too hard to do once she came on full time with me and started doing this. So it kind of got put on the back burner a little bit. And then Allie was out of state for a while, so it just made it really hard for us to get anything done. And eventually they kind of just like dissolved the entire thing.
And you also mentioned something about embroidery.
Yeah, so my wife actually has another company called Shades of Mint, and it's a new thing where she basically does embroidery on, I mean, she does a ton of different things, but she does embroidery on babies' clothes. She'll personalize it, put a baby's name on a onesie or whatever. If you guys have like a baby on the way, she can do stuff like that. And she does banners, like kind of like these banners over here, and kind of every. I mean, she makes pottery. Like it's just like a one-stop shop for like all kinds of little crafts and stuff.
Do you guys do band onesies?
We've been asked to do band onesies, and the only time I ever did one was for 8th year. They specifically asked me to make a onesie of the Supreme ripoff they did, and I didn't know it was for Garrett's dog actually, and now Garrett's dog wears the onesie around the house. So
why am I not surprised?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's it's an awesome idea. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And what would you say is your company's biggest accomplishment? Or you could list a couple if you like.
Honestly, moving into a bigger location, getting the equipment that we have, and just staying busy. I mean, really, that's all I could have ever wanted is to be able to help people out and stay busy and provide for my family, and that's really, and get to work with awesome bands. Really.
That's all I was gonna say. Is not to mention all the friendships you've made along the way.
Oh my God! I mean, yeah, I mean, every day I think I talk to a new band, and we start a new order with a new band, and like some of these people I met in real life, and it's like it's crazy. Like we're friends because of like the fact that I printed their shirts. You know what I mean? They didn't know me 5 months ago, and now we're good friends. So.
Yeah, I mean, you can't put a price tag on that. Priceless,
Nope.
man.
Yep.
You meet some of the best people in the music scene. You know,
Oh, yeah.
hardworking people, sincere.
Yeah. No, I mean,
hardworking.
all of my best friends are from the scene. I don't know. I mean, I know people that were involved with music, but I mean, people that I talk to and hang out with on a daily basis are people that were from the scene. You know, all 10, 12 years ago, 15 years ago.
So, what would you say is next for Screen Kings? Like, where do you see yourself in maybe 5 years from now?
You know, in 5 years, our ultimate goal is to basically buy our own building, quit paying rent on this building, and kind of just like set roots like for good. Like we want to kind of get our own building, get our equipment in there, and kind of like just build almost like an empire. You know what I mean? I want to be able to hire my friends, and I want to be able to help their families, and I want to be able to just basically help our community as much as we can. So I'd say the next step is just to basically get some roots, some like solid roots, and kind of like help everybody out.
Okay, so now it's time for our favorite segment, the rapid fire, but this time we're doing it Duke City style. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
How's the music scene here in Albuquerque?
It's awesome. I mean, some of my favorite bands are from Albuquerque.
Yeah, and this is gonna sound crazy, but we've never been to a show here. Like, I always wanted to go to the Gasworks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Freaking closed it, man.
Yeah, that was a hard one for Albuquerque because that was like our go-to. That was like the place to go. But I mean, even still, that's how strong the scene is we prevailed. We were able to find another place. We were doing people's houses. We're playing out in the friggin' desert. Like we'll do whatever we can, which is awesome.
Did you do the shirts for them? Those red, white, and blue ones?
Yep, I did.
Oh, man, I never got to get one of those.
Yeah, they.
I was one.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, Jake I think he was there with you at Lowbrow that time.
Yep.
He told me he was gonna send me one.
Yeah, that's one of my best friends, and I'm surprised he didn't send you one because he's in Space Case. So.
It happens.
Yeah.
So, how many tattoos do you have?
Oh God, a lot. I don't know. I mean, pretty much my hands, arms, neck, my torso, my leg, and that's about it right now.
Okay, well, getting off the rapid fire for sidebar. Would you say that your tattoos affect your business? Like, because I'm asking because of the kind of work that I do. Sometimes I feel like I need to wear long sleeve shirts at work and stuff because I want to give off the professional.
Definitely.
Perception, you know?
It's funny, me and my wife talk about this all the time because people have this, stigma towards tattoos and, whatever. But I always say that if you can produce good quality anything, and if you're able to speak to people with, like, somewhat of a, you know, a decent vocabulary and kind of like convey your feelings towards what you do and what you like to do, I really don't think that affects anything.
It becomes irrelevant.
It does. I mean, we deal with churches, we deal with schools, elementary schools, we deal with all these people, and I've never once, I mean, I've gotten a couple like, all right, like when I walk in the door, but then as soon as I start talking to people, they're like, I've even had teachers come up to me and say, you look completely different than what you sound like on the phone, and I'm like, well, that's a good thing, and they're like, well, yeah, no, definitely, and so at first I was a little worried about that, especially moving into this city, because the city is very tight-knit, and there's a lot of, I mean, everybody talks, everybody knows each other, but you know, we haven't had an issue with it. We've had a couple people kind of like stand back for a second, but then once they meet me, they're like, oh, well, this guy's
Yeah, I also think that tattoos are being a little more accepted nowadays.
Definitely, yeah.
So, and hopefully they'll be more accepted at their workplace too.
Yeah, seriously.
We're cool people, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your favorite genre of music? I think I heard some hip hop back there.
I was gonna say,
Trap music.
I'm kind of a metal trader because I love hip hop. I mean, hip hop even influenced a lot of the stuff that I did in Ruse. Like really, as far as like the way I like wrote my lyrics and the way I like kind of put them in the song. I kind of always like have this flowy kind of thing, and I think that hip hop has always been a big part. I mean, my favorite band of all time is POD, which is basically rap metal. So I just
Whosoever's.
Yep, the Whosoever's. Yep,
Oh, yeah.
and then and like I mean Limp Bizkit, like all those bands back in the day. Those are like the bands that I'm still listening to now, and those are probably my biggest influences. So yeah.
Why are metal bands so in love with Drake? Like, what's the deal with that? They're like
I don't know.
infatuation. Or something.
It's because metal people are emo, and I think that Drake is like emotional rap, and I think that it hits the feels. I think people get all they like. Drake's just dark too, you know what I mean? He's just a different kind of. He's got his own way of projecting his like feelings, and I think it's the same thing as like a metal band. You know what I mean? We have like we write lyrics the same way he does. It's just we say them different, or we
right, just a different delivery.
Different delivery, exactly. We project them differently. Yeah.
And have you ever seen Heisenberg?
I've never seen Heisenberg. I've seen a lot of traces of Heisenberg, but I've never actually seen Heisenberg.
Dude, there's a guy that goes to church back home with us,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a dead ringer for Heisenberg.
Really? Yeah, there's a...
I'm always expecting him to come up to me and say, I am the danger. God bless you.
We were downtown one time after one of our shows, and this dude straight up had the Heisenberg like head to toe, had the hat, the goatee, he was bald, he's got the clothes on, but I thought it was him for a second. I was like, this is freaking Heisenberg. But it was like some regular random dude. Yeah, so.
Okay, and the last question is, what the hell is an isotope?
I don't know. I guess it's like a molecule, right? Like when if
Yeah,
like
something.
it's like a molecule, like weird DNA thing. I don't know,
Because like back home we have the chihuahuas.
that makes sense.
Like we have chihuahuas.
Right. I like chihuahuas.
Isotope.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the isotopes. It's a sick baseball team, I guess. I don't know. I'm not even a baseball guy.
They've been around for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for allowing us to come into your place of business.
Of course.
And pay you a little visit
Definitely.
and chit-chatting with us. Big thanks to Screen Kings. You guys make sure you check them out. If you need band merch or merch of any kind, screen printed, no matter where you are, hit them up.
Let's do it.
And also we want to thank you for joining us for another edition of the Metal Shop Vlogs on the Road Extreme Edition.